Welcome to Speed Round Sunday on the Parenting Roundabout podcast, where we share a mini episode from our past for your weekend listening pleasure. We'll be back tomorrow with a brand new episode.
So, Nicole, what are your kids reading this summer?
Good question. What are my kids reading this summer? Let me think. Well, my daughter actually read 2 or 3 chapters of her AP American History course textbook.
Wow.
And that's about as far as she got. She does not read if she doesn't have to.
Yeah.
If it's not on a computer screen, it's not happening.
Well, would she read an ebook if you put it on her phone?
Only if it has audio to go along with it.
Well, have her just listen to the soundtrack of Hamilton a bunch of times. She'll be all ready for American history. There you go.
Yeah.
If any high school teacher is not using Hamilton to teach American history at this point in time, they're not paying attention.
They're missing out.
I wonder if her teacher will. I'll have to keep an eye on that.
And there's cursing in rap, so,
Yeah. My son is reading graduate admissions information.
Oh, my.
There are not a lot of books for,
how-to kind of thing?
Well, yeah, or just even in general in our family right now, there just are not a lot of books lying around.
Okay. Not any
We're all too
reading
busy
phase.
trying to manage our dramatic lives. So, unfortunately, my kids are not reading this summer. Not really.
They didn't have reading
fun.
lists? Your daughter didn't have a reading list from high school that she had to read?
Well,
Mine
so
always
she's
did.
not doing AP English or AP Lang, so she didn't have any summer homework for English.
Okay.
Because she's a math science girl.
All right.
But she does have to do this AP U.S. history class, and that's why she had to read a couple of the chapters. But
in our district, at least when my kids were in school, everybody had summer reading stuff they had to do.
No.
And it was miserable way to spend the summer. When you have kids who are reluctant readers and the assigned reading is over their heads, and so you have to explain it to them.
Yeah.
Fun. Have a good summer,
not
Mom.
here.
Catherine,
They have enough to do. They've got enough.
I agree.
My daughter, her last day before school, her last day of summer break, her and her friends were up studying and doing homework, and of course they could have done it over the summer, but who wants to do homework over the summer?
Yeah.
But they spent the whole day yesterday cramming in all their summer homework. It's miserable.
Well, whose fault is
Not a
that?
good way to turn reading on, kids onto reading.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. Although some kids enjoy it. I guess if you enjoy reading, it's an easy gig.
Yeah.
But for those who struggle. Catherine, did your daughter have reading assignments this summer?
No, she didn't have
Wow.
any reading.
So this is a really bad speed round question.
Well, what she's
Thank you,
reading,
Terry.
what she's reading is the driver's ed manual.
Yes.
The how to drive book.
Yeah.
Although she started, on the first day of class, they said, okay, for tonight you read this 30-page chapter or whatever. So of course she's like, I'm gonna read 30 pages. I'm like, okay, that'll take 30 minutes. But then the next day she went to class and she found out that they basically just went over exactly what they had read. So then she's like, well, I don't need to read this anymore because we're just going to go through it line by line in class. So
no need for pre-reading.
no, at least in her mind. So yeah, there's that. And then my son, he didn't have any assigned reading either.
Man, you guys all got it easy.
I know. He did decide that he wanted to pick up, maybe it was last summer. I can't remember when we started it, but we were reading Oliver Twist together.
Oh, light.
Yeah, and he
Light Dickens.
he noticed it and he said, let's do that. And I said, do you want to start where we left off? Which was 100 pages. No, let's start over because I don't remember. I'm like, okay.
Just watch the musical.
Start over.
He likes musicals, right?
Yeah, and we have heard that song, just the one song on the Broadway channel, Oliver, that song. So,
Yes.
So we're reading it and we're kind of enjoying the sarcasm that it just drips with. So that's kind of fun. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you see, my theme here is
Wow.
forget the reading, just watch musicals, basically, or
Hamilton,
listen to them.
Oliver.
This is
Actually,
this is what I would have liked to have been able to do, but my kids don't like musicals either.
For a while there in the spring, he wanted to read War and Peace. So yeah, no kidding. So
No, he does not.
he did for a good while. He got.
It's a great show-off book, but it's not easy to read, and it's really
He
boring.
got maybe 200 pages in. But that Broadway show, Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet, that is based
that's
on
true.
like a tiny sliver of that book. And he really he wants to go see that.
Yes, I would guess that is infinitely more entertaining than reading the book.
Yes.
I read Anna Karenina when I was actually in Russia, waiting to adopt. It was very appropriate because it felt similarly endless. But and just tragic and hopeless and not a fun read. But great works of literature, I have to say, because my English major diploma is staring at me as I talk. But great works of literature. Well, speaking of great works of literature, the thing my daughter is reading, my kids are adults now, and so not constricted by reading lists and me forcing them to read things that they have to read for school. So I don't think my son really reads anything at this point in his life. He has some sort of massive project involving moving photos around on his phone that seems to take most of his non-working time. Anytime you go into his room and ask him something, it's like, I'm busy! I'm doing something! And I ask, what's he doing? He's working on his photo albums, which he seems to have. I think he just downloads random pictures of cars until there's thousands of them, and then he has to delete some.
Then he has to organize them and
Exactly. But my daughter has always liked chicken soup books.
Oh, yeah.
Chicken Soup for the Soul, and the many, 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 unbelievably many offshoots from that.
Yes.
And she enjoys buying them. She enjoys sitting with them. I am not 100% convinced that she is actually reading them, but she swears to me that she is, because she was always reading. Reading has always been difficult for her and not a fun activity or something that she particularly enjoys or pursues. So I have my suspicions, but you know what? They are short little essays and they are heavy in human interest. And so possibly, something that she would actually want to read. But that is the big book around our house right now, are all manner of chicken soup books, which she has purchased with her Amazon Prime membership that she got accidentally while buying chicken soup books. Chicken soup for the not paying attention when you buy things soul is what we need. But you know what? I'm happy. I've always been I don't care what my kids read. If they find something they want to read, I will read it with them. They should read it. If it's a Seventh Heaven novelization, which we went through for a while. I think we read, Full House novelizations. We read iCarly novelizations. If there's a children's TV show and they made a book out of it, we've probably read it. But you know what? It's words going from the eye to the brain.
yeah.
I'm not picky. So if she wants to read or merely just purchase chicken soup books, that's, I'm not going to complain, even though I'm really glad she doesn't want me to read them with her.
I like those books. Some of them are pretty good.
I'm sure they are. They just all look to me like the kind of thing I would have written in a cubicle early in my career.
I love the perspective you give us. It's so grounded in reality.
I have many, many, many things like that in my early career. I was, in addition to moving a lot in my 20s, I had lots of weird little jobs. But,
That's awesome.